What's going on, everyone? Today I was going to give you some recon highlights or aggressive recon. Again, whichever you want to call it, doesn't matter to me. If you're new to my channel and this is your first video, these are clips or lots of kills I get in matches that I piece together because I don't really want to show a 20-minute match that has 20 kills and lots of editing in between because a lot of the kills had lots of spaces between them. I find it a much better watch and just generally more entertaining to do it this way. Just edit the kills and piece together multiple matches. For the commentary today, I'm going to be giving you tips to level up the Recon Kit faster, as well as becoming an effective recon player. A perfect example, my brother just bought an Xbox transitioning from PS3, so the tips I'm giving you now are the very same tips that I've been giving to him to level up quick. First, with regard to the match type, I'd recommend playing Conquest and play it a lot. Team Deathmatch is great for kills as well, but I wouldn't recommend it because of the respawns being so messy. Unless you're comfortable playing in that type of match, or are great at getting just lots of kills, I suggest going with Conquest just because of the math. 250 to capture a flag, 200 to neutralize it, 200 if you assist to capture it. All you have to do is run around capturing flags, and that's several thousand points per match. Add in kills, add in kill assists, add in spot assists, maybe surveillance assists if you're using an MAV or a tugs, and points really start to add up. They all count, so you might as well take full advantage of it. If you play in Rush, it's 500 points per MCOM that you take. It's 100 to arm it. But you're probably too reliant on kills and spot assists. That's the only problem I have with Rush. So leveling up will be much slower if you consistently just play Rush. When you're playing on defense in Rush, you can probably get more kills. But again, to repeat myself, mathematically I think if you want to level up fast, play a lot of Conquest. Especially early on. Because once you have a few guns unlocked, you can experiment with different match types. And you'll probably have great success that way. But for early on, to maximize your quickness with regard to leveling up, please play Conquest. I'd recommend using a PDW or a shotgun such as the 870 MCS or say the P90 or UMP45. All you need to do is get past the MK11 mod or the SVD and unlock the SV98 because those two guns are absolutely terrible. Upgrade to the SV98, and those of you that hate Recon will probably start to enjoy it. The SV98 and up is a significant upgrade, and most experienced players will know what I mean when I say that Recon probably turned into one of their favorite and most used kits once they unlock the SV98 and up. It's that big of a difference. The first two guns you get, Russian and United States, are just terrible. The next tip I could say is get used to one gun and everything about it, such as recoil behavior, bullet drop behavior, reload time, reload patterns, and get used to it with one scope only. Before switching scopes, get used to short, medium, and long-range sniping before moving on to another scope. A main problem that I believe is that some people have is switching guns or switching scopes too often if they're not having the success they want. But this only leads to confusion and muscle memory because each gun is slightly different with regards to reload style, pattern, and behavior, and gauging ranges is different between scopes. So the time spent on one gun may be all undone because of switching guns too often. For example, if you're struggling with the SV98, switching to the M4A5 may solve your problem, but in a lot of cases, probably just makes things worse because now you're learning another gun's behavior when you weren't fully acclimated with the SV98. So basically, get used to one gun and one scope at a time. If you find yourself struggling in general, just try switching scopes. I personally prefer the 12 times scope, but I know a lot of people out there prefer the 8 times. It's all up to preference, and sometimes struggles come from using the wrong scope instead of the wrong gun. So basically, get used to one gun and one scope, and then transitioning between guns gets a lot easier. If this doesn't solve your problem, try switching or unlocking another sniper rifle and just try a new gun altogether. For those interested, the M98B and the L96 are my favorites, and I use the 12 times scope for both of them. An overlooked aspect of actual sniping and just, well, gameplay in general is sensitivity. It's critically important to find a sensitivity that you're most comfortable with, but can also let you transition between different scopes, different guns, and vehicles. Sometimes someone struggling may be because of a low or too high sensitivity. So basically experiment to find what works for you. Don't necessarily think, oh, my favorite commentator plays on high sensitivity, that means I should. Do what works for you. Next, always make sure you know the layouts of each map and all the high traffic and areas and choke points of the maps. High traffic areas can get you a lot more kills, and knowing flank routes to these high area traffics will also get you tons of kills. And plus, you'll be able to take on multiple enemies in one encounter, because half the time if you're attacking from the side or from behind, they will never see you coming. Figuring out these points just comes with regularly playing the maps and noticing patterns of where players go that develop. They change per match, sometimes several times, so it's important to understand patterns, but also read your minimap, which is my next point, and that's always pay close attention to your minimap. I've said it before, but the minimap is the single most important piece of information on your screen. It tells you so much as to where the enemy is in proximity to where you are, and builds on that information if you know the map's layouts, like I said before. If they're spotted, bam, they're on your screen. Sometimes the points on the map that have absolutely nothing spotted are where the enemy is, but again, you'll know when this is the case by figuring out patterns on your minimap and throughout the map. For the record, I typically spend about 50% of the time when I play looking at the minimap, and then 50% in, playing the game. So it's that important. With regard to getting more kills, the first thing I recommend is stick to the perimeters of the maps, especially with your back to an edge, if you're using a high zoom scope. This way threats can only be in front of you, and it minimizes the amount of angles you can be shot at from. When using a PDW or a shotgun, this may change because you can go for flanks to rack up kills. But when playing with a sniper rifle with, like, say an 8 or a 12 times scope, you're probably better off staying in the perimeters. At least that works for me. The next and probably most obvious point is to move from cover to cover. Try to limit moving in areas that provide no cover for large stretches, such as long choke points or hallways or corridors. A surprise encounter with no cover highly increases your chances of death, especially if you're matched up against a guy with an assault rifle. Taking cover reduces the surface area an enemy can hit, and makes his aim time increase to hit you. If you're faster on the draw, you're almost always at an advantage this way. Next point, make sure you stay mobile. Get a few kills and relocate. Doesn't have to be far, just not at the exact point of where you were just before you got the kills. The reason for this is most players almost certainly will seek revenge kills on you. And if an enemy doesn't know where you are, you're that much more dangerous and unpredictable. Not to mention, staying in one spot could sometimes make you less effective. A point that had lots of traffic earlier might not have traffic after a while, so staying there won't get you any kills. Using an MAV or a tugs as well helps to prevent you from being snuck up on, helps to prevent you from dying, because if you stay alive you can generate points. Obviously you can't do that when you're dead. So basically, to sum up, the points that I gave you here helped me level up my Recon Kit quick. I basically went through trial and error trying to level up my Recon Kit as fast as possible, because I hated the SVD and I hated the MK11 mod. Still do. I refuse to use them. I think they're garbage. And to be honest, I feel a lot of Recon players, when they first buy Battlefield 3, feel that sniper rifles are like that. But the thing is, they're not. Once you start unlocking the bolt actions like the SV98 and up, it's like a godsend. And I think most Battlefield players that are experienced with lots of Recon Kit kills know that. Once you unlock the bolt actions, your passion for sniping probably will grow, or you'll at least enjoy sniping a lot more than what you previously did. So yeah, in summary those are the tricks that I regularly use. I always play a lot of Conquest to level them up because of the math with capturing flags. And basically, if you enjoyed this, leave a like. If you're new, subscribe, because I have tons more Recon videos to go. If you enjoy Recon, if you enjoy using vehicles, if you enjoy tips, I have tons of those. I love sharing my information with the community, so hit that old subscribe button if you're new and you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching.